Welcome back to episode 2, where we're looking at these two huge big computers from NCR and from DDE. I've cleaned everything now. It's all good, it's crispy, it's nice, it's beautiful. It is what it is supposed to be, and that's all good. So, remember, if you haven't watched episode 1, please go up, look at it, because I opened them up, I cleaned them, I explained a little bit about it, and so on and so forth. In episode 8, I couldn't test anything because I didn't have a keyboard. It has arrived. So I now have a keyboard with the correct plug. So in this episode, we will take this board, this CPU card, and a VGA card or something, and we will actually start testing whether all 3 of the cards, the CPU cards, are working, and all 3 of the backplane board, or whatever we're gonna call this, is working. I hope we'll bring all of them, both of them, up and running. So remember, go on the link in the description or up there to see episode 1 before you watch this. And let me take this away and let's build up this on the board. I'll find a Olivetti power supply with 80 plugs in it, and then we'll test and see if we can get stuff up and running. I have no hopes because, as the guy who gave all of this to me said, none of it is working. It's all broken. But then again, it's just a challenge. And maybe we need to solve something. Maybe we need to do some investigation and testing and stuff. It's all gonna be a journey. Before we start, again, if you have any knowledge about the computers, please write to me in my email. You can get it, my email, in the About session, or write comments in the description, so I can get more information about these computers, because I have nothing. We need something on it. I already took the BIOS dumps from the 2 BIOS systems that were in, I put it on archive.org. I also took pictures and sent it to other home pages where you can see schematics of the cards that I have. So I'm trying to get hold of the information that I can and spread it out so other people can benefit if you will come across one of these. So let's start. Let's figure this out. Let's test and let's build ourselves a computer. I will assume that, well, everything's clean and everything looks fine, but I actually did have a look. I'm not sure if it comes across. These pins in the back, they are like super tall, and they're bent all over the place. It's like crazy. So no matter what I'll do, I will F stuff up. So before we can continue, I need to bend this in so they're straight again. And I think maybe I should make them smaller. Should I do that? I think so. I don't know why they're so. So let me come back to you once I straighten them up and figured out whether or not I will chip them off so they are not that long. This is gonna be fun and it's gonna take a while, but let me just come back. Okay, I think it's much better, and I did some testing, and I don't think there is any damage to the board, even though it looks like this. But it seems that all the traces are good. So I think we need to figure out whether or not there's anything wrong with the rails. And for that purpose, obviously, we need to understand where the power goes in. And this is an AT power supply. So the two here, let me try to explain. So this one, this one, this one, and this one, that should be ground. So these should be the same, right? So there we go. Fine, fine, and fine. And then this comes up. So there's something wrong here. I think this is the 12 volt rail. I'm not sure. We need to look it up. The next one is fine. This one is fine. This one is fine. Over here, it's fine. Over here, it's fine. Over here, it's fine. And over here. So, 1, 2, 3, number 4. No, sorry, number 3. So we need to figure out what number 3 is. Let me, I can't remember. It's either plus or minus 9, I can't, 12 volt, I can't remember. So let me find the schematics for that. Okay, I did my investigation. It is minus 12. So there's a short on minus 12 to ground. And if we have a look at this pin, which is this one, it goes down here. And it goes into tantalum down there, which is this one. So theoretically, this could be shorted. It absolutely does not look like being shorted at all. But what we can do, we can just snip one of the legs, and if it doesn't help, we can put it back again. So let's try to do that. And see if there's still a short. And the short is gone. So that was our culprit. Cool. I think that, oh, I need to bend out a little bit more. The reason why I actually snipped off everything on this is because this is the one that we're using for testing. So I have no problem doing crazy stuff like that on this board. I do not assume that there's anything wrong with the same card in the computers as they have been in the computers all the time. This is because this has been in the box, so therefore these were like, yeah. So let me find some power. You can use this without the minus 12, and we don't use the minus 12 for anything at the moment. So let's find some power, and let's hook up the keyboard also. And I haven't tested the keyboard. I hope it's working. So let me try and set this up and see how bad it still is. I assume we need a postcard. So let's go in here so we can see at least the voltage on the rails. And if we put in our CPU card, maybe I need to lift. Yeah, hold on a second. I need to lift this up. We need to find something. I'm gonna do this. Okay. So maybe we should take the postcard so I can see it. Put it over here. There we go. I'm not putting a graphics card in yet. We just want to see how bad it is. If it even want to start up. So let's put some power to it. If we can. There we go. And I'm not sure what's happening. We'll just see. I take the voltmeter and test the rails also. And if it works, I'm not sure. something will maybe happening over at the keyboard. So let me turn it on and let's see. I see lights. I definitely see lights. I see, yeah, looks fine. So what about the rails? So these should be 5. They're 5. This one also 5. And then the -12. That should have been the yellow one here. It's giving me absolutely, oh there we go, -12, yeah. And the blue one here, that's 12, and then this is obviously also 5. Cool. So it seems that the rails are up and running. I hear nothing, there's nothing going on, it doesn't do any postcodes, so maybe this one is not working. Just for the fun of it, let me arrange the camera a little bit. And I want to see what happens if we take out the processor card and just run it. It should give us, for obvious reason, the 12 volt rail, the 5 volt rail, the -12 volt over here again, right? It does. And it doesn't go on ready status, so this is somehow working. It's supposed to be sending signals to the board. What I just remembered, we do not have any ways of have hooked the keyboard up, because there's supposed to be a cable from there to there. So maybe I should prepare it a little bit. Let me get a cable that will go from there down to there, and let's do that. Okay, let's make this happen. So I'm hooking up the keyboard cable there, and it goes down there also keyed. So then we go one way like this. So that's the keyboard. This is the postcard, and the keyboard is set up. Yeah, well, let's turn it on. I have the voltmeter over here if we need to test anything. It's posting 3.3. So we are up and running. Let's put a VGA graphics card into this, and then let's see if that helps us with some more information. I just need to find a monitor and the VGA card. Give me a second. Okay, let's try with the VGA graphics card that was in the computer, which we haven't tested. But let's just give it a go and let's see if we can be lucky with it. So VGA card is in, CPU card, postcard seems to be working, keyboard is up. Let's do it. And over here, can we see it? I don't think so. So let's do this. And let's turn it on. Nothing seems, oh, I see a signal on the screen. It turns green, so there's, oh wow, we have a success. Copyright 1993, OAK Technologies, VGA, a BIOS something. That's 1 megabyte on that card. This BIOS setup seems very weirdish. What do I see? 640 kilobytes. Total memory. Press F1 for hardware setup. Okay, we can try. I don't know if the keyboard's working. There's light in the keyboard, so I think the keyboard's working. Let's just try and press F1. Setting. Holy, yes. It seems to be working. Now it's saying conventional memory 512 though, so we need to figure out exactly how to set this up. This is a strange BIOS, right? But nevertheless, we come so far. This setup seems to be working. So I will say I have a computer that is working for my 2 cabinets. So I think we should do the same thing with the 2 other computers that are in the casings and test them and see whether or not they're working. Just so we know a fixed thing whether or not the hardware is working. So let's figure that out. Let's do that. And yeah, amazing. Perfect. Okay, let's try and test the 2 other boards, CPU cards. So let me move this over here and let's take the other one. It should be easy, right? And we should just be able to do this. Power is still on, keyboard is on, the postcard is up. Let's just turn it on and see whether or not it's working. It's posting 33. The monitor is turning on. Does it go further? Something's coming up. So we have another CPU card that's working. Perfect. 2. Just testing the last one then. Let me just briefly take it out. There we go. Let's put this to the side. The last one is the one with the battery. And it actually, let me just show you. So the battery, what does the battery say? It says Panasonic lithium battery. Super, super, super tiny letters. I can't see anything about, yes, 6 volt. So 6 volt. And it's also keyed. So plus goes on the top, I can see. We don't need that. Let's just wait with this. Put this down here. And put in the keyboard. And let's turn it on. Again, 33. Monitor is turning on. It's also working. So 3 out of 3. This is amazing. Cool. So what is left are these 2 boards. We need to figure out whether they are working. And I have already tested those. And this one is the same as that one. This one is working. I just measured it, and the issue with this one is kind of like the same with this one. It had, let me turn this off. This one had the minus 12, just like this one, shorted to ground, and the plus 12. And as they are not the same, the minus 12 was this one, which I snipped off, and the plus 12 is this one, which I now have snipped off. So that is also now working. I will take all of this and test with the cards in, and if it doesn't work, I'll come back to you and we'll figure out what's wrong, but I assume these will be working, both of them. So I think what I will do once I'm back, I'll put everything back into the computer casing. What I want to do, I want this CPU card with the version 4.7 in one of the computers, and the other one, which is this one with the 4.6, which leaves me with a spare one. So I will build up the 2 cabinets with this over here, and then we will have to look at the actual power supply. Obviously this is an Olivetti power supply, my trusted one that works for AT computers. So we need to see if the power supplies that came with the computer casings, if they are actually working. So let me arrange all of that and then come back so we can see whether or not the power rails are fine. So let me rearrange. So put everything back. We need to focus on the power supply for this machine, and I think we're just gonna turn it on. I've blown some air inside the actual power supply, and there was I could look inside from behind, and there was nothing worrying me, so I think it could be okay. But then again, the minus 5 volt rail and the plus 5 volt rail were, so maybe the power supply did that, or I don't know. So before we do anything, this is power, this is high voltage. I need to make the disclaimer. So if you don't know anything about power supplies and you're not comfortable working with them, at the moment it's closed, so it's capsulators, no big deal. But nevertheless, be careful, high voltage. Even when you turn the power off, it's not even plugged in, there's still high voltage in. So what have I done? I hooked in 2 hard disks. This is just because I want some I want something that to take the 12 volt rails, and I want a lot of juice to go into that. So I'm sure that the power supply will turn on. I have no knowledge about the power supply. Down here on the Molex connector, I'm just checking ground and 12 volts. So that should be like this, if I'm not quite mistaken. And I should then, let me just see, yes, this is turned off. It is. So and nothing has been hooked to the actual CPU. So let's just try, right? I hear the hard disk is spinning. The 12 volt rail is stable. Both of them are running up. Let's do the 5 volt rail. So that's the red one and ground. That's perfect. If we go on the motherboard power, we should be able to find minus 12, which was our corporate. That's the blue one on this one. This is saying minus 12, and the yellow one over here should be plus, and it is. So I will say I'm comfortable putting this to the motherboard and turning it on and see if it actually drives the motherboard and the CPU card. So let me once again just rearrange stuff and hook stuff into the motherboard, and let's see if we can get something on the screen now that it's all built in. Shouldn't be an issue, right? And I'm already ready. I just need to see if we can see something on the screen, right? Yeah. Let's try and turn it on, and let's see what happens, right? I see a green light on the casing. I know you can't. Oh, everything is coming up. Just want to briefly turn the camera a little bit down and show there's a green light down here. I hear beeps from the speaker. Let's do Control Alt Delete. I just want to hear whether or not I can hear it again. Absolutely a few beeps. So we have a working computer. We just need to test the power supply on the other computer, and it's not even in the cabinet, so we'll do that on the desk and see how if that's also working. But perfect, we're almost there, right? I know I promised you that we'll go through the other power supply. I think I'm under weather. I'm not sure what's happening with me. I have fevers and I'm shivering. So I think I will have to close this episode for now, episode 2. Remember to see episode 1. It's in the description. It's very important for me that you watch episode 1 and obviously have watched this, and then give me feedback if anybody has seen this computer or knows anything about it. But we're slowly getting there. I am positively happy that it actually works. I didn't expect, because the person who gave me all the computers said none of them were working, and obviously they're working, just besides the small minus 12 and plus 12 rail that was grounded. But we fixed all that. So for episode 3, I will open up the other power supply and we'll have a look inside, because we didn't even open this one up. I have opened it up afterwards. I've cleaned the power supply. I couldn't find any reefers, so that's fine. But we'll need to open this one up and test it. Hopefully it's working, or maybe it doesn't work. We'll see. I don't know what to do further with this computer, but I will think that we should try to get some floppy disk drives in it, maybe a hard disk, and see if we can get something on it. And go into the BIOS and have a deeper look into it, even though it seems very simple. So, with all that said, I'm hoping I'll get soon, soon. Thank you for watching. Again, please give me some feedback in the comments if you know anything about this computer from NCR, which I still think is called PC810. Thank you again, and I'll see you in episode 3 when I'm ready.